Tonight, Doris pays the high price of fame. And when Carla whips up a special brew, it's lights out for Diane.
Oh, my God, Carla, you killed her.
Cheers. Then on Taxi, it's a close encounter for Louie. And a case of overexposure for Bobby on Hill Street Blues.
We go! The best night of television on television.
Coming up next on the news, a former state senator is indicted. Also, Dave Straker has the story about the ripoff of rebuilt automobiles.
We'll be telling you why a former U.S. president was in our area today.
And Ken Davis reports there are two sides to the Great American Smokeout.
These stories and more next on the news.
Now, General Motors joins with Joe Bullard to make this dramatic offer. Buy any 1982 Oldsmobile in stock and get 10.9% financing from GM. And the absolute lowest price of the year from Bullard. Toronados, 98s, 88s, Cutlass Supremes, Cutlass Sierras, Omegas, Forenzas, even 82 demonstrators. You've never seen price reductions like this. Plus 10.9% financing at Joe Bullard Olds, Beltline Highway, Mobile.
TV 10 Mobile.
Good evening, I'm Don Schroeder.
And I'm Glen Robinson. 2 months ago, we broke the story of a federal investigation into fraud. It involved FEMA money that was handed out after Hurricane Frederick.
Well, today in Montgomery, a federal grand jury handed out indictments against 12 people in that case. Among those indicted, former Mobile State Senator Bob Glass. Alan Green has the story from Montgomery.
Hurricane Frederick blew a lot of temptation into South Alabama. The millions of disaster aid dollars flowing into the area afterwards had businessmen scrambling for their fair share. But apparently some wanted more. Federal authorities in Montgomery have uncovered a system of kickbacks involving the setting up of temporary housing trailers after the storm. The director and deputy director of the state's temporary housing program allegedly demanded and received kickbacks totaling over $500,000 in the awarding of set-up contracts. The bids were jacked up at least enough to cover the kickbacks, and that cost the federal government thousands of dollars. Bob Glass and 2 other Mobilians, Donald Wade Williams and Hubbard H. Donald, are among 10 others charged in the case. Glass is being charged with fraud and filing false claims.
I couldn't go any further than what is alleged in the indictment, that he agreed with Mr. Killo and Mr. Deep not to reveal his knowledge that they were taking kickbacks from contractors. The further allegation that in return for that, Mr. Killo offered and did award contracts to the firm of Tillman's Corner Ventures, of which Mr. Glass was interested.
Glass was a part owner in that firm. Glass and the others face a minimum of from 3 to 5 years in prison if convicted. Authorities have not ruled out the possibility of more indictments in this case. We're told that the 12 people named in the original indictment, including Bob Glass, are in the process of turning themselves in. They'll all be arraigned next Wednesday here in Montgomery. Alan Green, News 10.
In less than 2 months, Mobile County will be faced with a large fine for having too many inmates in the county jail. Well, today, Sheriff Tom Purvis said he has a plan to eliminate the problem. But as John Johnson reports, the plan may be controversial.
If Mobile County doesn't reduce its jail population by January 10th, it will face a $5,000 a day fine from the courts for overcrowding. The jail already has an inmate population of 228 living in quarters designed for only 125. To reduce the problem by early January, Sheriff Tom Purvis says he plans to take several steps to save the county the large penalty. Purvis says his officers won't be making certain misdemeanor arrests. He is also asking judges to reduce prison sentences on inmates to the time served. He plans to get the state to transfer 32 convicts out of jail and will refuse to accept prisoners from municipalities in the county. The sheriff says the criticism he may get for the plan won't bother him.
I have a job to do, and I'm going to do it. And if part of that means I'm taking some heat, I can take the heat. I know that what I'm doing is right.
But Purvis says it's wrong that the situation has reached a crisis level for the system and the community. But he says the system and the community haven't solved the problem. John Johnson, News 10.
All sides rested their case today in the school prayer trial that's going on here in Mobile. But federal Judge Brevard Hand would not say if the trial is ended. He requested written statements from all the attorneys and indicated that more testimony may be needed. Renee has more on the day's proceedings.
According to the testimony given by teachers today, many of the textbooks used in the public school system conflict with their own religious beliefs. For example, this book, If It's to Be, It's Up to Me. Now, Karen Phillips finds objection with the very first lesson, which reads in part, our lives are affected by the way we think things are. Now, Ms. Phillips disagrees with this, and she refuses to use this book in her classroom. Another book, Magic Circle. The exercises in this book places the teacher and the students on the same level, totally eliminating the idea of authority. And that, the teachers say, is the very basis of humanism.
A more precise definition of humanism is the belief that man is capable of self-fulfillment without the help of any supernatural or theistic being. According to today's testimony, this is what is being taught in public schools. 12-year-old Angie Owens testified the teaching of humanistic philosophy is sometimes very subtle.
They don't give absolute morals. They don't say this is right, this is wrong, and they present things that are offensive to me as a Christian.
Angie's father says the situation might be balanced if teachers had the option of teaching the religious side on issues.
I want my daughter to have the opportunity to see both sides of the scope, and then she can make that decision. I feel that she's capable of making that decision.
Ishmael Joffrey and his attorney say what started out as a simple case challenging religious activities in public classrooms has been diffused in testimony of philosophy and humanism, all of which they say are attempts to dilute the main issue. Renee Dowles, News 10.
One item that consumers probably complain about more than any other is their car. Many feel they didn't get what they paid for.
But tonight, 10 on Your Side reporter Dave Straker begins a special two-part report about some cars where the owners definitely didn't get what they paid for.
And Dave right now is standing by live on Airport Boulevard. It's a street, of course, that all of us have driven down at least one time or another. David?
Don, just about every car you see on Airport Boulevard tonight has had some sort of minor body damage in its history. But when a car is totaled, you usually don't expect that that car will ever be driven again, right? Don't bet on it. James Norris of Mobile turned to 10 on Your Side when the used car for which he paid $11,000 began to look suspicious. Norris believed he had a 1981 Camaro Z28, but with a little research I learned that the car was only a stock Camaro painted to look like a Z28. I also found out that Norris's dream car had previously been totaled in an accident in Louisiana, and I had pictures to prove it.
I don't even see how they put it back together. Looks totaled out to me. It's front, back, sides, top. Pretty well got it all.
I know he's got a bad car on his hands. It was totaled. I had $7,100 in damages on this car, and the car was but 6 months old.
Armed with the pictures I obtained for him, James Norris got a full refund from his dealer. Mobile Dodge Vice President Steve Hyder said his dealership never would have handled the car if its true history had been known, and he says this shows how even reputable dealers can be fooled when they buy cars.
It's unfortunate, but it happens. And somewhere along the line, you as a businessman, if you have any integrity at all, you're going to have to bite the bullet. You can't ask your customer to accept faulty merchandise.
Where are these wrecks reborn? The unscrupulous rebuilders work out of salvage yards, commonly called chop shops. These pictures taken by an undercover government agent in Chicago show a chop shop operation shortly before police closed it down. In this case, stolen car parts were being used to bring wrecks back to life. Now, in some cases, wrecks are rebuilt reputably to be as good as new, but the owners should know that their car has been wrecked. What do you do if you've had the car, you've bought the car, and all of a sudden you find out that this car has been wrecked? How do you spot them in advance? That's what we'll tell you tomorrow night. Glenn?
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Dave. When we come back, we'll tell you what Jimmy Carter thinks of George Wallace.
And today's Tele10 poll question deals with the former president. We'll tell you how you can voice your opinion when we come back.
At Del Sham's Food Stores, you've got our promise at this special time of year. At Del Sham's, we're the savings champs. more than ever your quality, variety, and savings store. And this time of year, to you, that means so much more. So from Delshams, in hopes that something from us will help make something from you and your kitchen a little more special, we wish you the happiest of holidays.
Introducing the complete ones, New Yorker Fifth Avenue and Cordoba. The New Yorker Fifth Avenue, truly impressive value in a luxury car. Imagine 43 standard luxury features. And the classic Cordoba, a most exceptional value in a personal luxury car. This Cordoba is equipped with 21 luxury features. Both are protected for 5 years or 50,000 miles. The complete ones from Chrysler.
See Boulevard Chrysler Plymouth Mobile, Gulf Chrysler Plymouth Foley.
Progressive, ever-changing. A financial institution that's willing to be molded by your needs, like the shoreline is shaped with the changing tides. In the Gulf Coast area, the Iron and Steel Credit Union now serves steel-related industries without a credit union with personal and innovative financial services. If you're with a steel-related industry and don't have a credit union, use Iron and Steel Credit Union, 950 Dauphin Street.
Come experience the magic of Christmas at Ellis, a Christmas to remember. The largest selection of decorations in Mobile, from stained glass to hand-carved to whimsical Christmas characters. The magic of Christmas, like only Ellis has. The glitter of gold, the shimmer of crystal, the glow of candlelight. That special magic for you at Ellis, a Mobile Christmas tradition for over 20 years.
He may be out of office, but he still draws a crowd. Former President Jimmy Carter was in Baldwin County today speaking to a of charity organizations. He also took time out to talk with our Carolyn Martin.
Jimmy Carter now spends his days making speeches, teaching at Emory University, and pushing his new book, Keeping Faith. Although officially out of the public eye, he still takes stands on the issues from prayer to politics. The Born-Again Baptist favors voluntary prayer in schools if kids are not embarrassed, but he qualifies his support.
I personally prefer a complete separation of church and state, and I don't think that we need to go into the issue of amending the Constitution.
As president, Carter was a strong environmentalist who encouraged oil and gas exploration. We asked him about drilling in Mobile Bay.
Although I don't know the circumstances about Mobile Bay, I think that the environmental laws should be honored, and I believe that the oil and other energy companies can do that without manifestly decreasing their opportunity for profit.
George Wallace was one of the first politicians to endorse Jimmy Carter back in 1976. The former president is still a fan. Were you surprised to see him reelected?
No, not really. I was hoping that we'd have a Democrat as a governor of Alabama, and I was pleased.
In his book, Mr. Carter remembers his 4 years in the White House with gratitude and pleasure, but he does not intend to enter politics again. Carolyn Martin, News 10.
With the former president in town, we thought it would be a good time to get your feelings on Jimmy Carter. Our Tele10 poll question tonight is, if Jimmy Carter were to run for the presidency again, would you vote for him, yes or no? The phone calls made locally to our Tele10 poll numbers are free. Now, we began the poll at 5 o'clock today on 10 to Live. The final results will be given at the end of this newscast. And when we continue, we'll tell you the latest in a local labor dispute.
Also, Ned will tell us about the misty morning that we had here along the Gulf Coast, and he says that we're going to have another one before the week's out. Stay with us.
Toyota dealers announced 1983 Toyota bargains you can drive home today, but you have to step on it to save. Drive home the all-new Toyota Tercels with improved gas mileage and all-new exterior and interior styling. Drive home hundreds and hundreds of dollars in savings on brand-new Toyota trucks. And drive home the biggest news in years from Toyota, the all-new four-wheel drive Tercel 6-speed wagon. See a Toyota dealer anywhere in the southeast states today and step on it, because when you buy a new Toyota from us, no one drives a better bargain than you.
Let yourself feel how splendid you are with a rich, expressive fragrance created by Gloria Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. Let it release the splendor of you. Vanderbilt. The Newporter bag and half-ounce eau de toilette, $18.50 with any purchase of Vanderbilt fragrance.
Available at DH Homes.
You know I love to entertain, and this is the perfect season. And I'm so happy Whataburger has introduced these holiday poinsettia glasses. Just in time for celebrating. They're yours for only 39 cents each when you buy a 16-ounce or larger Coca-Cola at a regular price from Whataburger. And this time of year, you'll need plenty of extras on hand. You better start your collection real soon because you never know who's going to drop in.
Are you missing out on hundreds of dollars in tax breaks every year? You are if you don't have an individual retirement account at Baldwin County Savings. You are never too old for a tax break, nor too young to plan for retirement. And with the Baldwin County Savings IRA, you'll enjoy tax savings year after year and retirement income to do whatever you want, even just relax. Open your IRA at Baldwin County Savings, financial friends who know you well.
Look at me.
You're still singing Misty.
I'm as helpless. I got the old band together and whipped that song up for us today.
Yeah,
you like that?
Did a great job.
Yeah, we had a morning this morning. A lot of fog around, and even worse tomorrow morning. Fog is rolling in. Visibility outside about 0 right now. Big problem tonight. Travelers advisories are issued. We'll tell you more in a second.
Okay.
71 degrees is where we've been warm and muggy and humid all day, and long range, folks, right on into the weekend. It looks like we're going to remain about the same because the temperatures are going to be up there around the mid-70 degree range. Barometer is rising right now, 30.05 inches of mercury, and then 30.08, holding steady in Pensacola. Winds are out of the south and southeast at around 5-6 miles an hour. And of course, we have plenty of dense fog around the downtown Mobile area. We've had just a trace of rainfall today, and drizzle is going to continue to be a problem through tomorrow morning because this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is going to be with us for a while. Weather Track 10 color satellite photograph this evening will give us a good indication of what we are expecting. You can see plenty of clouds and moisture streaming up from the Gulf of Mexico. This is basically a warm front that stretches all along the Gulf Coast, and we've had a band of clouds containing a lot of drizzle and light rain extending all the way from Texas into the mid-Mississippi Valley area and then throughout most all of the southeastern United States. If you needed any sunshine today, I'm afraid you had to go way up into the Ohio Valley region through Kentucky, Indiana, all the way up into the Great Lakes and the western states as well, starting to bring in a lot of heavy shower activity, and on top of that, a lot of snow as well is moving into that area. We've got a cold front just starting to push into the western United States, bringing a lot of rain. San Francisco Bay Area had about 4 inches of showers, and they're expecting heavy snow in the higher elevations around Lake Tahoe. Heavy snow warnings are out tonight for portions of Idaho and the mountains of northern California. That system will not be affecting our weather over the next couple of days. We're going to continue moist and warm for this time of year. This warm front is extending up from the Gulf of Mexico now right through the southeastern United States, and it's being pushed by warm air. Now, you know, in the past couple of days, or I should say past few weeks, we've gotten down pretty chilly at night sometimes. We've been down into the upper 20s and right around the freezing mark, and that has cooled the surface temperatures and cooled the water temperatures. And now with this new influx of warm air flowing in on the cold surface temperatures, a big problem. And that's what it was like this morning. A lot of heavy fog around the area, causing a lot of bad traffic problems throughout Mobile and Baldwin County, and more is expected tomorrow. Like I said, at the present time, very dense fog around the Mobile area, but taking a look at the live eye out on Airport Boulevard, we can see in the western sections of Mobile County, generally fair skies, or I should say clear skies, are the case right now, and the fog has not moved into the western sections of Mobile County, but it will be pushing in tonight from the sea. The sea fog is rolling in. Travelers advisories are out as well. On TV 10 color radar tonight, we're indicating some shower activity around the Mobile area. Right around the general Mobile area, some light rain. All the rain has been light today. Also some isolated showers continue right along the Florida-Alabama line and just to the west of Defuniak Springs. And a large band of showers continues to plague the Lake Pontchartrain area and over around New Orleans as well. Tomorrow we can see that warm front continue to move into northern sections of Alabama, so warm air will be building behind it, bringing with it a chance of rain as well. 69 degrees in Fort Walton Beach and also in Pensacola. 71 is the reading in Mobile at this hour. Biloxi Gulfport has a reading of 70 degrees and 72 also under cloudy skies with showers around the area in New Orleans. Weather picture tonight comes to us from Christy Shipley, and Christy goes to school and watches TV 10 in Loosedale, Mississippi. Marine information looks like this. First of all, for the next, the tides or the marine forecast calling for winds to be out of the east and southeast at around 10 to 15 knots, and the sea should be running around 3 to 5 feet. And dense sea fog will be the case for tonight. The tides at the mouth of the Mobile River, the first tide will be a low tide at just after midnight, around 1 minute before 1 in the morning, and a high tide will be at 8:19 tomorrow afternoon. The forecast tonight calls for fog and drizzle, 30% chance of rain and drizzle for tonight, and a low temperature tonight around 68 degrees. And for tomorrow, not much relief. We're going to continue with cloudy skies and some scattered thunder showers around the area. With all that moisture building up, we have about a 50-50 chance for some showers tomorrow. High of around 77 tomorrow night. A little less chance, 40% the chance of rain, and cloudy skies will be with us, and a low temperature tomorrow night around 66 degrees. And unfortunately, the warm air is going to continue with us over the next several days, right on into the weekend. By Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. That's kind of warm for this time of year. So please drive safely and be careful out there tonight. Remember the traveler's advisory in effect. Don?
Okay, thank you, Ned. Leaders of Union Local 18 and EDSCO officials sat down this morning with a federal mediator. This was the first meeting since September. Tony Allgood, the president of Local 18, told us the meeting was an attempt to restart the negotiations, but Allgood says no progress was made. The union altered several of its points. However, the union official says the company refused to budge from its original offer. The current talks have once again broken down, and Allgood says that no other meetings have been scheduled. Nothing of that sort at all. The National Football League. They don't need any more meetings, I guess, do
No, they don't. They're out on the field, all 28 teams today, including the Jets and the Lions. They didn't practice yesterday, but they're getting ready now that it's Thursday with 2 days of practice. We'll tell you about that, have the rest of the sports in just a second.
Hurricane Electronics, the radio repair people, is headquarters for Whistler radar detectors, including the all-new Spectrum. With maximum sensitivity at the greatest distance. The Whistler brand is the most preferred radar detectors around. The choice of professional truck drivers. Don't settle for less than the best. Buy Whistler. Stop by and test the Spectrum. For any radio repairs, come by Hurricane Electronics, 3720 Moffett Road, just west of I-65.
Well, America, Mogan David did it. Got you all spritzing.
That's spritzing.
That's drinking America's spunky wine, Mogan David, with a good spritz of soda.
That's spritzing.
Now, no wishy-washy wine will do, mind you. Know why?
It can lose its taste.
But Mogan David's got just the right kind of full-bodied spunk to stand up to all that refreshing ice and soda.
That's spritzing.
Like I was saying, Mogan David's America's spunky spritzer.
That's spritzing.
Southern Fan in Saraland is now wholesale to the public. If you're thinking of an ideal Christmas gift that can be used both winter and summer, think about a Hallmark 52-inch reversible ceiling fan. Regular $229, now just $89.95. We also have Hallmark kerosene heaters, regular $199.95, now just $109. Frank Moore, owner of Southern Fan in Saraland, personally invites the Mobile public to Christmas shop at wholesale prices at Southern Fan.
Well, I'm a lifelong Detroit Lions fan, and I'm glad to see they're going to have a couple days practice before they play the Monsters of the Midway.
Well, they wouldn't have any problem beating the Bears without any practice. I'm a Jet fan since we adopted that team last year, so let's go to New York, where all 28 NFL teams worked out today, including the Jets and Don's Lions, two teams that didn't practice yesterday. Now, in the Big Apple, Mobile's Richard Todd is preparing to play his first game in 8 weeks.
I think it'd probably be tougher mentally right now. The main, the timing. You're going to be out there and you're going to throw bad balls and you're going to be upset about it, but you can't. The fans will be showing their dissatisfaction, and but I'm used to that. So you just have to put that behind you and don't really press yourself too much, because if you start doing that, you're going to play worse. But the main thing is just try to relax and do the best you can.
Seems to be problems in Tuscaloosa, where Bear Bryant lowered the boom on 3 senior running backs this afternoon, disassociating them from the team. Ken Simons, Charlie Williams, and Earl Collins from Mobile. He played at Davidson High. We're told today that they just didn't have a winning attitude. Bryant also added that neither of the three has helped the team at all this year. In southern Mississippi, closes out the '82 season Saturday night against Louisiana Tech. The Golden Eagles here in white are coming off the biggest victory in the school's history, that 38-29 upset of Alabama. But Southern coach Jim Carmody is worried that his team might be basking in that victory, and they might take Louisiana Tech too lightly Saturday night.
Well, I'm sure we need to get back to earth in a hurry. We've been up in the skies here a couple of days, and we need to settle down and realize who we're playing. That the Alabama game is over, and I think if we can look back on what happened to Tennessee the week after they beat Alabama, they were beaten by Georgia Tech, and then what happened to LSU the week after they beat Alabama, they were beaten by Mississippi State. Perhaps this will help get them back on the ground.
And last night's Sonics-Hawks game in the NBA was billed as a duel between David Thompson and Dominique Wilkins. Thompson got the better of that matchup, leading Seattle to its 11th straight victory. Big David, who had 32 points, gets 2 on this follow-up. Watch the play, and that put the Sonics up by 13. He's awesome. Now, watch this alley-oop. Thompson had 15 points in the third quarter to lead Seattle to that 119-97 victory. They're still unbeaten. The Hawks are 4-6. And the Dallas Mavericks pulled the surprise of the night, a 118-117 upset of the L.A. Lakers. Now, L.A. led by 2, 117-115 with 3 seconds remaining. And here's what happened. Mark Aguirre takes the inbounds pass from Orlando Blackman, turns and fires a rainbow jumper off the glass into the hoop, a three-pointer for Aguirre right at the buzzer. Mavericks now 5-5, Lakers 7-3. A good-looking shot, Don. And we'll have some local high school basketball tonight at 10 o'clock. The season opens at 6:30, and about 10 minutes from now at Williamson High School. We'll have some video tonight at 10.
Okay, good, Ron. Thank you. When the news continues, we'll have the final results for you of today's Tele-10 poll. And by the way, that poll closes in 2 minutes. We'll also have Ken Davis in the story of the Great American Smokeout. Stay with us.
At Robinson Brothers Lincoln Mercury, you won't pay 18% financing, or 16%, or even 10.9%. Any new Lincoln Mercury is now just 10.75%. And at Robinson Brothers, you won't pay list price. You won't even pay dealer invoice. We're going to sell you a brand new car at $500 on the dealer invoice. So before you get stuck with high interest rates and high prices, come see me, Bill Robinson. I'm selling cars at hundreds on the dealer invoice and selling them for 10.75%.
California, here you come with your new wife, your new car, and your new nationwide auto policy that can protect you and your car against almost anything, any place in the country. It can protect you against property damage claims, any place in the country. It can cover you for theft, any place in the country. Nationwide auto insurance can even cover you for towing and labor charges if you break down, up to the limit of policy. Oh, by the way, it protects you for the big things, too. And one toll-free phone call gets you help. Any place in the country, anytime, night or day. Talk to a Nationwide agent. Compare our benefits and prices. Chances are you could come out ahead.
Nationwide is on your side. Nationwide is on your side.
When it's time to talk turkey, I shop Food World. They save me money on the turkey, the trimming, everything.
Desserts from the Food World Bakery and a fresh pot of coffee. What a nice way to entertain for the holidays.
This time of year, I have to shop for groceries at all hours. Thank goodness Food World's are open 24 hours. You might say that Food World is different from other stores as night and day.
Your holiday friend is Food World.
The side roads tonight lead Ken Davis down the road to good health.
Well, today is the annual Great American Smokeout. It's when the American Cancer Society asks everyone to leave their cigarettes at home for just one day.
It's all in an effort to get you to give up smoking altogether. But Ken found out that there are two sides to every story.
You know what I really hate is when you're trying to talk to someone and they're blowing smoke into your face. It really burns your eyes.
Smoke just gets all over me, and I don't smoke.
Smoke gets in my nose, and it makes me cough. Irritates my nostril.
Cigarettes are bad and unhealthy for you, and that's why I quit.
Okay, let's be real for a minute. Those of us who don't smoke can find dozens of reasons not to smoke. Number one, it's a pretty disgusting habit that not only stains your teeth and makes your breath bad, it can kill you as well. That's why the American Cancer Society singled out today, the Great American Smokeout, to try to get you to give up this disgustingly unhealthy habit for at least one day. But in the interest of fairness, we decided to give the smokers equal time and find out what it is about non-smokers that they find disgusting.
They pick their nose and suck their teeth.
People harassing you to quit smoking.
They overeat, they overdrink, they overexercise.
What's something non-smokers do that bothers you?
They bother me about smoking.
What is it about non-smokers that bothers you?
People complaining about my smoking.
Ken, they're always bugging me about how much more money they have than I because they don't smoke.
The fact that they're always telling me to quit and that it's bad for my health, that I wasn't old enough perhaps to know that myself.
Ron, what is it about non-smokers that bothers you?
Well, Ken, I never have that problem because I don't smoke.
Okay, so maybe there are a few little habits that non-smokers have that smokers may find just a wee bit distasteful, but none of them will kill you. So come on, smokers, try to give it up for just one day. You'll thank me when you're 85. Ken Davis with a real smoker of a story on the side roads.
We now have for you the results of this evening's Tele-10 poll. Our question was, would you vote for Jimmy Carter? Well, 47% of the callers said that if Mr. Carter ran for the presidency again, they would vote for him.
On the other hand, 53% of the callers said that Mr. Carter would not get their vote. Today we had a total of 805 people called in this evening, and we want to thank all of you for taking part today.
Tonight on the news at 10 o'clock, Michelle Meredith will tell us about a serious crime problem at one of the rest areas on the interstate.
Also tonight we'll be talking with a Russian defector who is in town this evening.
So all tonight.